Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Construction Technology Podcast. I'm joined by my hosts, Mike from Build Vision and Andrew from Join. I'm Luigi from Provision. Too many visions in here, Mike. One of us needs to change our name.
I was here first. Where were you founded?
2022. We're joined by Kyle Bonde from Hensel Phelps. Kyle, how are you?
Living the dream. Can't complain. In our new office out here, and I got a speaker. There's literally the music's playing in the bath in our hallway every day, and I got a speaker outside my office. I'm like, so that's the downside of a new office. Sometimes you don't like the music, but sometimes you do.
What's the?
Mike, we just lost you.
I'm sorry. Is it Frank Sinatra, or are we like doing like East Coast, West Coast rap battles?
Girls just want to have fun right now. I can hear it.
Interesting choice. I guess that's
Yeah,
like
good
better than
productivity
white
song.
noise piped in. Is that like a privacy guarantee, or is it like, pump up Friday?
Yeah, it's Friday. It's more relaxed around here, which is great.
You have a good whiteboard back there. Good for brainstorming. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Obviously, you're prolific on LinkedIn. You are a fantastic advocate of technology within pre-construction. This is the Construction Technology Podcast, and it's a great fit. And it's great to have you on, Kyle. I always like reading your pieces on software that you're exploring or hot takes and why you hate Nemetschek and Bluebeam. But we wanted to jump in.
Don't hate. I don't hate.
No, you don't hate. You're critical. Sorry, you're critical, which is good. Criticism is good, especially if it's constructive. It would be great to dive into maybe just an overview of your role, what specifically you do at Hensel Phelps, and then how would you describe yourself? Obviously, you have your LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn profile says you're really focused on pre-construction and making it better. But yeah, let's go there. What do you do at Hensel Phelps? What is Hensel Phelps? Most people will know who listen to this podcast. And then how would you describe yourself in terms of technology for pre-con?
Well, first off, Hensel Phelps, we're a ginormous company, big GC. We're getting into, we do about $10 billion of work, tons of diverse, anything complicated we get into. So, and we also have various arms too, but I'm going to focus on the construction and pre-con arm today. But my role here, I'm like the pre-construction, I'm going to call myself the pre-construction tech nerd. So I had the benefit to go up through the field, through the operations, be a field engineer, boots on the ground, working with the craft. God, I love self-work, by the way. Seeing all the challenges that we face day to day on the job sites. I got to do that for like almost 7 years. And then I started doing change orders and working on pricing. I'm like, hey, I kind of like this pricing stuff. Like, if we can impact stuff early. Hey, what's this estimating track? Can I go this way? I don't even really know about pre-construction and didn't even have a plan to go into estimating. So then I kept raising my hand. Can I go? Can I go? Because I liked it. And then man, like I first day on with the estimators, like almost the first day, I'm like, guys, check everybody's printing things. Like that's when I showed up. People had printing stacks of drawings. I'm like, hey guys, look at this tool we were using on the job. It's called Bluebeam. You can hyperlink bookmarks. That's an amazing tool. I'm like training people how to use it. So, and that just turned into me learning the ropes of estimating, kind of skiing, right? And skiing through it. And I kept like, hey, how can we make this better? How can we make this better? And I kind of learned that that's not a typical jam, I'm going to say in estimating. Typically it's you learn the way and you go that way. I'm like, oh, that's not me. So kind of throughout this adventure in estimating the last 10 years, they said, hey, Kyle, we have this position. It's a promotion. Do you want to take it into technology? It's more focused on pre-construction technology. I said no. I'm like, I want to be a senior estimator. I don't want to get promoted because I'm good at tech. So I said no for a little while. Then they kept pushing me. I'm like, well, I guess I'm kind of doing this naturally. They're like, try it for 2 years. I'm like, okay. So then now it's been 4, right? Now I love it. But I still got a senior estimator title. I'm still doing day-to-day estimates. I'm like, oh, I can apply this tool in this workflow. This could help us. Like I'm in the trenches still, which is hard to do, and still get things done at tech level. So that's a long story of me, but that's me in a nutshell.
We didn't share this question in advance, but implementing technology, you really need to have a champion and you really need to have someone's attention so that they can really give your tool a try, implement it, get their hands on it, understand where it works, where it doesn't work. It doesn't work when you have a third-party person from innovation trying it because they just don't know the day-to-day. There's only so many hours in the day, Kyle. How do you decide what tools get trialed and which ones don't? And then what are your best practices for trialing?
Well, this has been evolving kind of constantly. We're getting better at doing this, trying it. But me personally, like mine is, okay, I learned the workflows. I see how it's done. Okay, how can we scale this? What are holding me up? What are the things that are mind numbing for me? Because I'm the kind of guy that if I learn something and I can do it and that's repetitive, I'm like, how can I kill the repetitiveness? So, and then how can we scale this to people? Like training people is so hard. Like just one example is like, hey guys, here's how you do a bookmark to a website URL. It's like, it's even like the little things, but that's what it's about to me. Is it scalable? Can we make this easy for everybody? Like that's the ticket. That's the wide open ticket for me. Can I learn it quick, and can everybody else learn it quick? And I'll give you kind of an example with all these takeoff tools we went through. Man, I've looked at so many, you puke, and it's been an adventure. But one example, and I don't, not meaning this is bashing in any way, but Creo is a great tool. Like I really like that tool, and I was like trying to go that direction. But then I started to realize, man, this is this is too complicated. I can't train people this. It has to be OST level. Oh, OST, I can learn in 20 minutes and go, right? Boom, bam, bam, right? So that's an example right there. So
I see.
What are some of the key things that make a tool trainable or not? Like, is it the interface and ease of use? Is it support resources from the company? Is it um, fit for like how a particular team or particular company like does a particular workflow? Like, what makes something easy to train?
well, mine is, okay, here's our workflow. Here's how you do it in their tool. Like is that bridge very short and, nice and clean and less buttons and, and another thing I'd say is like just little short videos. Like, let me give you another example. Edify, if you go to Edify training sites and click on their text, they're so text heavy. I think I'm part dyslexic. I'm like, guys, I don't want all this freaking text. Like, give me a short video clip and I can learn it like that. And I could suck this stuff up. Like Beck Technology, like they got some great videos and training. I scoured all their websites and watched all their videos, and they have some great training stuff out there. So that's a tip for me. I like, especially when if I'm working with you guys, hey, send me a little video clip back and forth. I find that nobody really does that in our company. I just go to Loom, record a video, send it back and forth, and that's how I learn visually. But to really answer your question, it's all about our current workflows. Can I see them in your tool, or just give me like a concept so I could probably mold our workflow in your tool, and I get it. I'm the early guy, so I can like, okay, this looks like crap now, but I see if we worked it a little bit more and we could scale this company wide.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's really hard to get people to change their behavior. So mapping it closer to workflow really helps them as opposed to asking them to change their workflow.
Yeah, but I got a follow-up question with that. That's got to be hard for you guys. Like we have it how we want to see it, but then you guys got to like, man, you got to work on your end to make it show like how we want. Like, and then we're like, I don't want to share our data with you. You probably got to do all this stuff, right? So
All of
Yeah,
our
that's-
customers are very easy to work with on the implementation side. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, it's like a classic challenge of software, right? Like SaaS, like you want to adopt the workflow from the tool that's been polished from like the entirety of the industry, or do you want something that fits the way that you already did it? And different vendors choose different points along the way, right? Like ERP systems tend to be like the most configurable,
some are
right?
harder.
Accounting systems. And then at the other end, I would say probably takeoffs in our world are probably a little more like consistent workflow, if only driven by OST's dominance for 15 years. But yeah, that's classic.
I think it's one of the things that's changing though. Like, is this like when I was selling Building Connected in 2016, we were like trying to get people off of email and Excel into a platform. And now we're doing pushback into like, hey, can't you just live in email and Excel and it be a headless tool that does things on your behalf? And I think it helps get customers into better positions of like, hey, like we'll meet you where you are. We can do X, Y, and Z to do things because you're breaking it down to do like more of like jobs to be done. Like if you need to do a takeoff of drywall, like you don't necessarily need a visual application to do that? Could you just get an email with it linked to the PDF and you like talk back and forth with that email? Would that help Kyle's life out because Kyle's still living in Excel? I think there is value there. I know I've been very vocal and like anti, like I think AI takeoff is commoditized away. You should be able to, you can do it in Claude out of the box right now. I think there's something there where it's like, how do you meet the customer where you're at? Like you should push back on the technology companies now to do that. It's not 2016 where it takes 6 months to release a feature.
Yeah. And I'd definitely add to that. Like, have you heard of the tool Lovable? Like I'm like in love
Of
with
course.
Lovable. Like literally it's been my jam the last 2 weeks. Oh my God. I could show this idea instantly and even change it for me. Like I could drop PDFs and here's what it looks like. Like we could go down a long rabbit hole in Lovable, but we don't need to go there right now. But man, the things that we could do now with software as me, I'm the end user and I can make mock-ups and scale things to idea anyways. The hard part's underneath the iceberg, right? All the stuff you guys do. But at least I could do the kind of Apple here. Look,
we are getting to that world though. Like there's this idea of like AI generated UI specific for a customer. So if you can imagine a lovable interface for Kyle on top of Luigi's provision where like he actually doesn't even like there's not a firm provision UI. It's literally just like I ask a question, it builds it out.
I don't think so. Like,
why not?
Sounds
like
futuristic.
for a number of reasons. Like first, like we're talking, like I think one of the coolest things that the AI coding tools have done has democratized access to code. You used to have these like low code things and like complicated spreadsheets for building like applications, and they were okay, but like Lovable and Claude Code and Cursor and so forth are completely next level. Like my 70-year-old dad is hacking nonstop with OpenAI and he hasn't written a line of code since graduate school. Like it really is amazing. However, two things. One, if everybody codes their own thing, the like complaints that we hear about point solutions, one for each workflow, that now becomes point solutions, one for each workflow for each person. Like you have less consistency, you have less plug and play. People are going to interpret information differently if they're given different UIs for it. Like I think it leads to fragmentation at the application layer that like people just don't want. And two, there is actually something to be said for learning from like tools, right? There's always this give and take between adapting to what a given customer does best and like bringing on board best practices that have been refined by others who have gone before. So like what's a good example? Like the probability weighting in our CRM. I learned about probability weighting by deal stage, which is like a key concept in sales because it showed up in our CRM. And every time I was like, what's our open pipeline? It was like, your weighted open pipeline is this much. And I was like, no, it's not. It's like 3 times that. And it was like, can't count it that way. You have to like, you have to grade it by stage. And so I think.
But that's changing though. Like I don't sign into Salesforce ever. I ask Claude.
That's cool.
It's interesting.
So in this example, I'm sitting in Kyle's seat.
You implemented Salesforce?
We actually did Monaco, but no one on this call knows what Monaco is, but it's the same idea.
Of course I know what Monaco is.
You do. But in Kyle's seat, if the interface is Claude and it connects to all these headless tools, Kyle can show whatever he wants. It's not coding. If Kyle's like, I want to see all the pecs across all the projects that we're bidding on right now. Well, like why is that even why does that need to be an interface in any of those applications? Kyle's talked about, I know, like 5 different tools. Like all those 5 tools should have MCPs. You should be able to go into Claude and ask the question.
Well, let me add to what Andrew said, because I kind of agree with him. This is one thing I'm scared of. Like take Claude Code or Lovable, for example. I made this epic, another example. So I made this awesome tool. We have the standard owner report, right, that we deliver to owners in Edify. It just looks like an Excel file, right? We're working up a unit format and bid package, right? CSI. Well, so I took this in. I made I'm going to call it an epic dashboard. It's an epic owner dashboard. Now you can take this report everybody's used to using, you drop it into this tool I built, and it brings this amazing owner dashboard. It gives a shareable link to the owner. It's with like a Hensel Phelps URL. It looks amazing. It's all interactive. You can do slicers, surfaces. It's like, my gosh, we can make this stuff. But to Andrew's point, I'm a little scared if more people like build these dashboards, we're not going to look consistent as a company. So we kind of have to really watch what we do if we all can do this. Like, oh man, we got to be consistent on the way we do this.
Cloud skills, create a cloud skill to do that exact thing, and you'll have
Are you
consistency
just
across your org.
reinventing a consistent UI from first principles?
No,
Just-in-time UI is a thing.
Because Hensel Phelps' UI wants to be different than Turner's UI, and that software provider is not creating a custom UI for each customer, and that's my pushback on that.
Yeah,
and we're
data,
in the early
data visualization. I agree.
And we're in the early innings of this. Like, this is like we're still like, but imagine in 2 to 3 years, like I like what Luigi is doing at Provision. Like Luigi at Provision, the output could be like completely customizable per user. And
Yes.
like, hey, I'm like I love that he's like again, it's like the harnessing of like I have a specific Hensel Phelps data that I want to like harness around the Luigi data, like the Luigi provision extraction pipeline. It's going to be a little bit different than what Turner's doing. And why force that mold around like, hey, no, you have to use the UI like I say it when you could be like. Anyways,
I think it really depends. It really depends on the workflow. I mean, if you're inheriting like IFT drawings, like you should impose a data schema. Yeah, you can represent that schema however you want. In the front end, if you're in conceptual design, I could see a lot more flexibility in both how you extract the data and then how you show the data. But yeah, generally, I agree with you. Kyle, I want to get your perspective on this, specifically from like a pre-con perspective. You were at Advancing Pre-con, we chatted. You saw a lot of takeoff tools. You saw Boone, Meltplan, Bob Yard. Maybe there were a couple other ones. I'm sure you trialed a few. I think you told me that you saw a bunch. Where do they work? Where do they not work? And where do you think it'll be in 6 and 18 months time?
Oh man, yeah, Advancing Preconstruction was so fun. Every year it's like a different theme. This year is definitely AI takeoff and scope generation tools, especially with Luigi, with what you're doing. It's awesome, but we'll hit on that probably a little bit. But specifically takeoff, like one thing that I'm noticing is takeoffs are niching down, like full stop. Like, Mike, you guys are in the mechanical world, material automation stuff. Like one tool that I'm interested is an example. It's called Fresco. They do doors, frames, and hardware only. That's all they do. That's all they care about. They source the materials. They find the conflicts. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I were a door trade partner, I'd be like rocking this. Because we're actually looking at it because we're doing a lot of self-performed doors and hardware. But like Bob Yard, they're dialing in on like, I think they do concrete, mechanical, and electrical, which is awesome to see. And landscaping. And then Boone, they're kind of a more general AI takeoff. I've been meeting with that team kind of weekly, and it's kind of been fun working with them. They kind of, how they act is like how the human thinks is, okay, human goes to schedule, looks at schedule, then they look at drawings. So that's how their AI works. You pick the schedule, hey, go find me the schedule on the drawings. You match those two up and like magic happens. So they did this in a demo, generated all the concrete footings. I'm like, awesome. Then I said, hey, change the scale for me. And when they did that, their footing size, there were 10 by 10s initially, and their footing size doubled. I'm like, wait, guys, you have that backwards. The image needs to scale with not the, it always needs to be a 10 by 10 footing. So I'm like, guys, I can't use this right now. But then guess what? Like 14 days later, they're like, hey, Kyle, we fixed that issue. Look, it works. Like the things that I thought that was a major, like, oh crap, you guys got to go be down in the roots of your code to fix that. Cause it sounds like
to everything else.
Yeah, but they fixed it. And then this is what's happening. You like suggest a feature to a software company and 2 days later it's deployed. You're like, oh my gosh, this is the pace of change is just going like this, right? So to hit on like the 6 months, I think it's going to be more like trade partners are going to marry up with the takeoff tools, the ones that survive. And then at 18 months, there's probably going to be a huge drop off. Like guys, AI takeoff is just like table stakes. Like if you don't have it, you're done. So that's kind of where I think it's going in to the fact that, man, these large language models and the virtual language models, like, is this, are we even going to need an interface anymore? Is it just going to do it for us? I'm a little bit scared with what's happening in that regard. So who knows what tool we're going to be using in 18 months for that matter, right?
And what's your current day-to-day takeoff tool?
Oh my gosh, I'm literally going to do a LinkedIn post. There's a team of estimators out there. They pulled me in, Kyle, Easy Takeoff's doing something funny. They're all around the screen working their thing. I mean, our whole company's using Easy Takeoff. It's been phenomenal. So
it sounds like, I met with ZZ. I like the team. Obviously, they're very experienced. I think it's the founder of OST. Is that right?
Plan Swift.
Sorry, Plan Swift. Yeah, that they were required by Construct Connect, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah. They don't have automated takeoffs, from what I understand. So you're kind of doing the very futuristic automated takeoffs. You're still spending most of your time in ZZ takeoffs. What explains, like, how do you reconcile those two things?
Oh my
If
gosh,
these
I got
takeoffs, if these takeoff tools are so good, why are you not just in there all day instead of ZZ?
Well, it's really a simple answer. So really, adoption beats automation, like period. So take OST or Bluebeam. In 20 minutes, I can get anybody falling in love with ZZ Takeoff if they're from OST or Bluebeam, like period. If automation that nobody uses is worthless to me, right? Like, let me give you an analogy. OST is a horse. Horse does the job, right? But ZZ Takeoff is the car. So we need to get people to move to the next technology, and it just naturally happens without any mandates. Like that's magical, right? Like horses just kind of went away. But I mean, we're still hunting for the freaking self-driving electric car. All these companies, they're just giving me they're skipping to the electric car that doesn't have, it doesn't work yet. We don't have the infrastructure for it yet. Nobody can touch it. So, that's my reason. And I'm also going to go down into what ZZ Takeoff does. It's intuitive, but then you can go to the next level. This is where trades love this tool. You can make assemblies so simple and clean, blood, guts, and feathers. If I could go into a simple wall tile, AI takeoff tool will give me the wall tile square footage. Good job. Thanks. Well, crap, you got to do the backer board, the grout, the sealer, the blah, 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 right? The waterproofing, it's wet, dry, sluter strips. You got to give me all that stuff so I can actually build the thing, right? Material. So, and this is right after this call. I have a call with ZZ Takeoff on automated assemblies. They have scripting that's just got live in their demo environment. The things that are happening with building the scope, automating the scope, and they just dropped image search, right? Like this is really, it's all about the foundation. If you get the foundation right, now you can do the apple at the top. This is where I give Edify a bunch of crap. I used to give them crap. I'm like, guys, when is your AI stuff coming? They're like, Kyle, we got to build the foundation first. So you just keep saying that over and over and over. Kyle, the AI will come once you get the foundation. It's the same thing with ZZ Takeoff. All the foundations there, all the structure, man, they don't have a house of cards. All these little AI tools that are out there, they're a freaking house of cards. So long answer to the shiny apple.
If I phrase this back, this is like an argument for distribution and incremental change in tooling over revolutionary new workflows. It's an argument for a very incrementalist approach to introducing new capabilities. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So is there a path from there to the Mike Powers patented, nirvana of you just sit there and plot and chat with all the tools, don't have to open a UI and...
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm like, we got to be slowly getting people to level up, because I'm at the unfortunate spot where I get to see all these epic tools that Mike's kind of talking about. Oh my God. And I think to myself, how are we going to get there if we don't go very slowly?
So again, and then there's the running quote joke, whoever it's named towards, of if you asked, if you asked someone that sold horses to build a better whatever, that's a terrible quote. But a book quote. It's
build a better horse. If they wanted a car, they'd say only if it fits me.
So that's what I think is a challenge, a very hard challenge in the industry is one, the technology is 20% of the job of everyone in construction. And you saw that from the Anthropic report of saying oh yeah, Anthropic's going to be able to impact 20% of construction. That's because 80% is the field, you're doing X, Y, and Z. So I'm curious, we're focusing on this, you ask the cart maker, to make a better cart, you're going to put things on a cart, but should we actually be jumping to a car? Because I would not say that tooling that was built to just continue to make this infrastructure better and better, they're going to layer AI on top. That hasn't worked in any other industry from a SaaS perspective. If you look at again, we always use Harvey as an example, the legal software market before Harvey and Agora has gotten destroyed by Harvey and Agora. But that's kind of a counterpoint to that. And I know people always say construction is different, but there is a bet of the companies that do make this larger shift in a business model perspective, being able to accelerate faster.
Well, what is Harvey and Agora? Is that a legal software that's just really?
Yeah. Think of it as it's like a chat specifically for lawyers to help them accelerate their workflows. So it does like due diligence for you, set up workflows, things like that. And what's been able to be proven is like they've historically gone to like LexisNexis or these like historic database systems, and Legore and Harvey are structured different, so they're able to action on differently. So I'm not saying that like, hey, takeoff or estimating is like that wedge where that could be drastically different and structurally different. But Legore and Harvey have made that pitch that we can be structurally different and we're showing value to the customer. I'm not sure if estimating is that bucket. Like there's different things in here that can be explored.
Like here's two counterexamples. One, Gong, like lives on top of Zoom and Teams and so forth, right? Like I don't have to completely change my like video conferencing and communication stack to start to get the very real AI benefits of Gong, right? Most transformative technology we've ever adopted as a business. Second, relatedly, I would say is Pendo, where Pendo is a tool we use to manage feature requests and sort of like long-term roadmap, right? And they introduced a feature, like they already had that. They had that store of knowledge, and they introduced a feature that listens to all the Gong calls and like creates tickets automatically from it. And like, I know, Luigi, you built something in-house that does that, but like that's an example of an AI capability that's very real, that's delivering value to us today, that was added incrementally to kind of a crusty like SaaS product from 15 or 20 years ago, quite effectively. I mean, the ultimate question would be like, doesn't this mean that Bluebeam should win AI takeoffs? Isn't that what this means? It's either Bluebeam or
if they can ship,
win.
If they
Everybody
can
already
ship
knows how
to
use
the desktop fast enough.
Yeah, that's true.
To the web.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Bluebeam is the incumbent, and maybe not from like a takeoff perspective. It's probably like OSD or PlanSwift, but they have a huge opportunity, which is why I think they're buying startups. They're hoping that they can accelerate that. They did that with Firmus. I think the weirdest thing though is that you have to jump on Studio and to go to a cloud session. It's just so antiquated when you think about it. But they have all the distribution and people are familiar and they know the product, and that's why people like incumbents. But if the startups can ship really fast and hammer a wedge, then they probably deserve to win. Harvey and Legore surely did. They are probably winning. I think between them, there's sorry, Mike. There's tons of audio distortion coming from you. They've been able to get a wedge and like they grow really fast and raise venture capital, and we haven't really seen that in construction tech that much, barring a few exceptions. So Kyle, where would you put your money in 18 months? What tools will you be using for takeoff?
I don't know. Like I'm tool agnostic. I'm not attached to anybody. I'm just for the ones that help our people. Like what can get the estimators the smartest, most accurate, kill the risk, period.
Diplomatic.
I do have I am going to go on a limb, and it's going to be a tool like yours, Luigi. Like you guys are more closer to the source of truth, the documents, the scope generations, if you can kind of figure out how to do takeoffs, you never know.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, we'll get there. I appreciate that. Cool. It's very helpful. I appreciate you being, so honest.
Can I take one step? I think one step out meta that I want to just like get your opinion on is like, is there, Kyle, in your world, like Hensel Phelps doesn't want to win more projects. They want to win better projects. Is that a fair assessment?
Yep.
So like
exactly. Most highest value projects that we can deliver for our clients and get repeat work and the success, and we don't burn our subs. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah. So then the question for you is then like, it's not a speed question because you're not like, I'm trying to bid on 100. I'm not trying to do takeoffs on 100 projects next week. It's the quality of the takeoff or the context of the takeoff. So where do you see the ROI driving towards? It's not like, because like an easy ROI is like, hey, instead of one project I bid this week, I did 2 projects this week and I won 2 projects because I had a faster takeoff. In your world, that's not true. So how do you see and try to wrap your head around the ROI of a takeoff tool or estimating tool where like, Hensel Phelps is probably going to win that airport, right? Like we're already going to win that project. Is it just where do you see actual value with these tools since you're not trying to be like, I'm trying to do 2 airports this week. I'm doing 1.
Well, in my mind, we're scaling more. So more revenue equals more projects. I would say that we can use tech to kind of help supplement that because it's so hard to find good estimators. So it's kind of a 2-pronged thing. Yeah, we got to be more efficient, but we also got to be more accurate with how we handle the risk and make sure we're signing up the right trade partner and make sure we got all the scope. I can't tell you how easy it is to, oh crap, there was a sauna. I forgot to buy that out. I didn't have a budget for that. Oh crap, that's a super specialty thing. No, like that stuff it's so easy to miss things in estimating and pre-con for signing things up that are buried as one little note here. Like we need more help with skill pools and double ups and that is where all this value is, getting that period, really.
Well, that's actually leads to the next question, where we see a lot of companies, especially. I just came out from Built Worlds in Chicago, Kyle. I don't know if you were planning on or thinking about going there.
Jealous, I wanted to go there.
There are a lot of tech vendors. I think you would have enjoyed it. But what's pretty clear is that a lot of people are targeting the scope layer, and I have my theory as to why, but it's clearly a problem. But what you see repeatedly, what I'm seeing now from a lot of startups, barring a handful actually, is I'm going to take a document as the input, and I'm going to give you the artifact as the output. Claude and ChatGPT are actually pretty good at that zero shot, without training it or giving a lot of examples. Do you think that this is the right approach that startups should be taking? Do you have any commentary on that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that was the theme at Advanced Preconstruction: scope generation tools. You got Nomic, you got there's a bunch of tools. I've been diving into a ton of them. Down to bid is actually the first one I really got very interested in. That was probably 2 years ago. I'm like, guys, this is it. And now everybody's catching up. But let me tell you a story. So 3 years ago, we put AI into our bid tab, so we can archive our bid tabs, get the proposal summary from all the bids. We have all this data, and I'm so glad we started doing that. But we chose that because that was kind of a point in time where we can finally get consistency. But it really felt wrong to me, to be honest. So our CIO, her name's Dolores, I kind of talked through her with this, and she kind of challenged me a little bit, which was a great question. She said, Kyle, where does the source of truth get generated? And that question, and I love that question. And back in that day, I was like the takeoff, because there was none of the scope generation stuff going on. I'm like, we got to get the takeoff down. I got to get OST out the desktop. Got to figure that out. So, because that's when everything gets generated, and that flows to the estimate, and that flows to bid tabs, and blah, blah, blah. Right. So we finally got that dialed in. Right. But now our base layer is solid. So this is where it's fascinating to me. So now we're, okay, well, let's take this further. Back to her question, where does the source get generated? I'm like, well, it's a document at that point. So now I just moved back a level, and now I'm like, okay, I got the takeoff, we got the estimate figured out, but now we got to get the documents, the scope generation layer dialed in. Like that's kind of where this is going, and why it excites me. It's the source of truth, right? That's the documents. Woo! Let's see if we can figure it out, Luigi, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was just interesting to see. I was chatting with another founder friend of mine about how many companies that we've seen now do scopes, and I can count it very quickly here. But I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 that I just I've seen between AP and Built Worlds. And yeah, the obvious question is, who's going to be the winner? Which one? And what does winning actually look like here? Right? There's one component which is
naturally a winner take all market.
I think it's winner take most.
Well, I think the winner is, we're going to call this a category. In my mind, that's a win for the industry. Scope generation as a category, is a tool section, kind of like takeoff. Takeoff's got their own all their people. Well, now we got a whole new section that people are like, oh my gosh, well, I got Copilot. Well, does that count? Probably not.
Well, Copilot's a good competitor as well. I would argue though that yes, there is a category, and I think that the fact that there's so many companies chasing it means that it's a legitimate category with legitimate pain, or else you wouldn't see so many companies funded. I would say though that somebody should win to benefit the to benefit the industry the most. And I love competition. I think it ultimately benefits you, Kyle, and it benefits the industry, and people like Hensel Phelps and PCL and Elston. They're going to have really good solutions, but what happens is somebody will get the most traction, which will attract the most venture capital dollars, which will result in the best distribution. Maybe not the best product, but the best implementation. And as you know, as you've just said, training and familiarity probably will probably lead to the success of a given product. But distribution is very important. So anyway, I'm sure you've seen a couple, but I would love to hear what.
Just before Kyle, Luigi, in your position, then does Procore and Autodesk win because they have the best distribution? They have all the documents.
They have one of the best chances of winning, and
or
on that
project site
too. Procore is releasing a scoping tool.
By the way.
Yeah, that's what Hensel Phelps is on.
Procore is releasing a scope generation tool in their bid management in the bid management functionality. So yeah, they have a good chance. They have a good chance too.
I was curious. How your thoughts, Kyle? Off to you on your thoughts.
No, I mean, you guys hit it. Like, I'm kind of pulling for something like that too. Like Building Connected won the trade partners, even though that tool hasn't changed for 10 years, and they're going to get taken over, in my opinion. But somebody won though, right?
Who?
Helped
who?
all that.
Nobody has.
Who's going to
no
go like tell all their trades to update?
Which is the fact that
Maybe
no other
someone who's
pre-con
better
solution has
integrated with like a
network?
now dominant prequal tool, right?
No,
Like
right.
that's like the rock.
Zero.
No, you don't
That's
think
the-
so? You would know.
No,
and then
no,
you
it's-
sold the thing. Why am I talking over you? Mike, let me explain to you why the thing that you know inside and out and took to market. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'll be quiet.
The biggest gap is no one else has built a network.
Yep.
This is befuddling to me. Every pre-construction tool should have a network. But what that means is you connect nodes between parties. Like you're engaged with multiple subs, multiple contractors, and multiple owners on every engagement in pre-con, and every tool that's gone to market does not have a network. That's Building Connected's value. And no, gosh, I just forgot. I could picture him. Oh my gosh. The pre-qual tool that's in market right now is like, they're not going to build a bid management software.
Pre-con suite? Like a new one or an old one?
No.
Compass.
Thank you. Michael Ho.
Yeah,
Shout out to Michael Ho. Grinding for 12 years. And the other issue with bid management is the market, the TAM is $15 to $20 million of revenue. It's hard to invest in.
The one thing I'll add, I'll one up you on this. Like you guys did this Gong thing. I don't even know what Gong is, but it's on top of Teams and Zooms and it monitors your calls or whatever. Like
yeah, just records them all and creates summaries and lets you search them.
Right. Imagine if we had that kind of level inside Building Connected, where you're getting all this insights, aggregates it up, and to your point, the rock is the network. How do we displace the network? I don't know. And you think anybody will kill Building Connected or compete with them with the pace that they're going now?
I think yes. Building Connected's old software. Like if you look, the current paradigm is not let me create an interface. It's let me automate your existing workflow. So why can't I create an agent that sits across many tools and just sends out emails from your inbox?
Because you're going to have to retrain the subs to go to a new place.
Yeah.
Like
they already know their
Autodesk
email.
is doing all this work to migrate Building Connected into whatever the fuck they're calling it now, Forma. They pointedly did not change any of the URLs that the subs will need to go to.
But the email, just email. Hey, send it to me via email.
So I think
that's where we got it. That's what they do anyway. Like most of them still don't respond to Building Connected. You know that, Kyle, that you're getting responses from subs probably in email. You're getting a lead letter 10 minutes before bid close. They don't do a lot of lump sum, but they still default to email.
The white horse is Edify does it. Now, if there's a company that replaces Building Connected, it's Edify.
Yeah, but they don't have anything with trade partner management. That's a whole nother ball of wax.
What do you mean the entire team built
That's like a single tenancy solution right there. That's not
Edify's
built for network.
Edify's not.
Yeah,
I would say no to Edify, and I'm the Edify freaking champion.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, dude, it is. That's
my bet. Want to do a poly market?
Yeah.
That would be my poly market.
Actually, I have a bet. I would bet on ClearStory. Because they built a network.
ClearStory is very interesting. Yeah. I was catching up with Cam at Building Connected and at
Build Worlds.
Built Worlds, and their network is just so impressive.
It's huge.
The amount of new signups they get from subs every month, it blows my mind. Like I wish I had top of funnel like that, but they've really cracked the network, and it's why.
Oh my god, it's like it's bottom of funnel that feeds top of funnel. It's this Ouroboros like snake eating its tail and creating giant delicious snake.
How big is
steaks.
a snake?
Just remember
that's how
didn't work at Building
That's
Connected.
how Cam pitched the first VC meeting, just like a frenetic snake illustration.
We struggled with that.
I like their product.
Connected.
Say it again.
Just as a note, we had every subcontractor in the country using Building Connected, and we tried to sell them more software, and we did not do very well doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it's not possible, Mike. It just means that a previous way didn't work. But in like T&M and like CORs, like there is a product that's already working. Like they've already figured out that second product. Basically, it's an ops, but if everyone is on the network, that network can be distributed. Yes, yeah, they've already figured out the second monetization, and like as a byproduct of that, they have the network. Anyway, going back to Kyle because it's time super precious here. Kyle, when we talk about at least the pre-construction AI landscape, one area I don't see a lot of activity in is in the CD stage. And like when we hopped on a demo, this was kind of where you went to as well. Hey, if you can go artifact in, scope out, that's great. But when I'm starting at the napkin sketch, I don't have a great artifact. Do you think So number one, are you seeing companies target this area? Do you want it to? And maybe tell us a little bit about kind of the problem that you face at Hensel Phelps.
Well, that's a good question. So, kind of stepping back a second. So, the industry was developed on, the hard bid workflows, right? ITB, takeoff, estimate, bid leveling, subcontract. Awesome. We got that down. We're really good at that. We have processes, workflows, train our people, do that. There's parts in there that we need to get better on, like bid leveling, for example, get off Excel. Our subcontract handoff could be better. In the ITB world, might be better someday too, like we hit on Building Connected. But man, now we're shifting. And this has happened pretty recently. To kind of to your guys' point on change, like how do you get people to change to anything? They're stuck on this way, go that way. Well, owners are dictating, hey, we're not dictating. I mean, we're just doing it faster with design build methods, right? So now our Hensel Phelps, we're literally 70% of our work is negotiated now and 30% hard bid. So it's completely flipped over the last few years.
That's
So
actually
now,
relative to your peers in the ENR top 20. That's actually still a high proportion of hard bid.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
J.E. Dunn doesn't do any hard bid. They're just 100% negotiated
Yeah.
now.
There are notable exceptions. Tutor Perini, Rudolph and Sutton does only negotiated, but like all the giant infrastructures, like Tutor Perini's like stated strategy is to hard bid lump sum projects that no one else has the bonding capacity for. Like, so it's not alone, but like that's a trend others are seeing as well.
And it depends on the region too. We have very high hard bid regions specifically that keeps that at 30%. But it's like, how come there's nobody really messing around in this conceptual world? Because it's so freaking hard. Kind of what we talked about before. You got to get your base data set up so you can help do predictive models. You have all these cost model tools. You can grab your history and do all that comparisons, but there's nothing that, takes the context of your job, looks at all your kind of data, helps you give you a executive summary of what it could be and how to predict this. And I can take off this, but no, we're missing X, Y, Z. We need elevators, right? Like little things like that. But that's kind of the other big shift that's happening. Estimators, they're not counting in corners anymore. It used to be, hey, estimator, go count this, buy it out. Well, no. Now we're like earning owners' trust, working with the architect, trying to figure out the architect's sacred cow so we can do VE decision management, all the stuff you do, Andrew, right? Like estimators are turning into trust agents. So how do you what do I want startups to know? I don't know. It's hard you got to get the foundation right before you can help do predictions. Like if I had a perfect tool, here's a perfect tool. Like Luigi, I think I gave you this graphic, right? You drop AI and specs into this AI monster machine that Luigi makes. It parses out our scopes and materials, and it already sends this over to a takeoff tool, all pre-formatted for me with all the formulas, because setting up your assemblies and it's easy takeoff or whatever tool you're using, so you could go measure it, because I don't trust AI to measure anything. And then that sends over to your estimating tool. But then this AI tool also, well, you're missing this. Do you have this in there too? Like that's the utopia that can do this at early stages.
We ended up making that as a byproduct, which it would be cool to show you, but irrespective of that, I think Edify, like a really interesting opportunity with Edify, even in Join, is look, I have all these projects that we've already built together. We already have them broken down by line item. Great. Okay. I'm in conceptual design. An owner has given me a cube on a piece of land for a data center. It's a 200,000 square foot data center. Give me a price broken down by division and give it to me to the line item so that I can say, okay, great. Let's add another 100,000 square feet of rack space, for example. Okay, great. Here's the impact of that. And I think is a fantastic analog for the UI. It's Claude Design. I don't know if you've used Claude Code. Claude Anthropic came out with. This is for our uninitiated listeners. Michael's laughing at how I'm describing this, but Claude Design, if you haven't used it, Kyle, you really like it. It helps you design things based on inputs, but the design interface is so interesting. It's upload everything that's specific about your company. So imagine Hensel Phelps, this is our process and this is what we like. And, we like uniformat to this level, not CSI, fuck CSI. And then we like this. Okay, great. Now let's start with a design. Okay, I'm going to do a 300,000 square foot document. Here's the material that the owner gave me. Generate the output in Join or Edify. Great, let's start there. And now I can prompt a change. I think that's a winning product. And I think the best company will do it.
Snaptrade? Snaptrade does that.
Cool.
In a cool way. It's a good example of like what you're talking about.
Andrew disagrees.
Yeah.
You can try it. You can try it out. You get a free account. You can do that exact thing.
I have.
Well,
it's cool.
What you're hitting on is key though, right? You're dropping in whatever you think you want, describe the outputs. And one of the things you get on hard, we've been focused on kind of high level comps, right? Grab a bunch of hotels, compare. There you go. That's your cost. Well, now we actually have the power to get down to the line item and adjust it to their specifics and really make a custom estimate for the owner. Like that, if we could get high level estimates earlier, that like we're all going to be better. Like Andrew's got this tool that will suggest VEs on top of that.
Yeah. It's interesting. The like Claude design for like one of the AI use cases we've heard from a few companies that we work with is really good search over the like SOP documentation. So like I've heard a lot about the Hensel Phelps way. There's the way for other companies as well, but making it easier and easier for people to understand like, hey, what do I do next? Or potentially automate like portions of that. I don't know if it gets all the way to like throw it in, generate a building. Snaptrade does seem to be doing good things in design, more power to people displacing Revit. I don't know, on the click a button, get a building side.
Like the things that are coming there, like throw in PDFs, generate a 3D model. Like, oh my gosh, I've literally built that tool. I get to drag and drop my 2D takeoff in there and it builds a 3D model of the page I'm on. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is working.
Does it give you the scope breakdown by division?
No, I mean, I'm just talking.
Because I think that's what you need to get to. That's the level of granularity, right? Like, okay, what do you have for finishes? Okay, well, we want carpet. Okay, no, actually, no, we want vinyl. Oh, okay, great. Let's swap that out. What did you choose for your air handlers? We used York. No, don't use that. Use something else. Use like Tyco. I don't know.
What?
How many tons of cooling do you need? I need 1 ton. 1 ton for my data center. Yeah, this is an example.
Speaking of which, back into trying to use your tools. Like one of the things I love that Mike did is, hey, treat Mike Powers as a bidder. Like, I'm just going to invite you to my Building Connector project. It's a public project. Hey, Mike, what can you do with this? Whoa, cool. That's our project in your tool. Like, holy cow, I don't have to go through all these hoops of security. It's, the fact that you did that a while ago, like, it shows me the possible. So keep doing that.
We actually don't want anyone signing into our application.
But
these days,
you could show people is the point. Like, don't give them access, but hey, here's what you could look like, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying our major users don't sign the application. It lives in your email.
Well, you just kind of go in, you get in, like just
forward me an email. We can sign into your bids at email. We live in your Outlook. We call it the net. We merge all your projects together, structure all the data. Hey, do you want to bid or not in this project based on the insights that we're providing? Here's your line card match for the manufacturer.
Yeah, but then the next line I'm going to get is, well, is that secure? How do we make sure our data is protected? Like, I'm a little worried that I can't sign,
You can sign in if you want to. Oh, you can do whatever you want. But I'm saying like, hey, you're living in your email right now. You're communicating with your subcontractors. You're back and forth. You can still do that same exact experience. All the data gets structured back and it gives you insight. If, in your world, it'd be like, let's say John, the mechanical subcontractor said, hey, we're missing a chiller on this drawing, which would be extreme. Then that could automatically feed in and draft an email for you to send it to the other 3 subcontractors that are bidding on that project saying, hey, there's a missing chiller on 3. You don't have to do anything.
And you just hit approve. You just, send it. Because you have this gnarly integration with Building Connected, I'm assuming, right?
You have everything. You have 75 bid management integrations right now.
So that's why you're saying you don't think Building Connected will go away too, maybe.
I think it's a substrate that actually doesn't need to be engaged with, and that will continue into the future. You're going to live in your email. You're going to live in I'm just like fanboying provision right now, but like if you were doing a scope analysis and provision, who cares what the bid management tool is? You just need to get the documents. It could be email. It could be, there's a company called Pantera that has been around since like 2002. That's a bid management software.
Yeah.
Cool. Like it doesn't matter. That's
Well, let me give you this crazy example. So I'm a Lovable nerd. They added aggregate peers on this project kind of last minute. I'm like, oh crap. So I took all the geotech notes, my takeoff, the drawings, the requirements, dropped it into Lovable. This is a public project, so don't worry, I'm not doing anything illegal. And then I shared that link. And I shared that link with all the trade partners, and where they could download all the detailed documents that's specific for them, gives them little mini packages. I think that's what you do, Luigi. You give trade partners mini package, just the stuff they need. But man, the dashboard it made was epic. And I want that for every trade partner. Here's all your stuff, consolidated, all the risk there, get all this stuff for me, and life's good. We'll have a successful project. Like that's where I'm hoping we get to.
The future
live
is
in your
here.
email, live in your email, live in your Excel, live in your SharePoint, live in your wherever you want to live.
The dark horse here is, Copilot. Kyle, I know you like Copilot. I know you use Copilot and you build your own agents. It's sometimes I hear like, hey, you build scopes, but like I built one in Copilot. So like it's the same product, right? And then we obviously explain the difference and why auditability is important and why accuracy is important. But still, it's brought up in the conversation. If something's brought up in the conversation, it's a competitor, whether you like it or not. Tell us about your experience with Copilot. And I think you mentioned as well, you built your own agent. It sounds like it was a very impressive one for like quite a large federal bid. How did that go and what did it teach you?
It was a fail. I love talking about failures. So maybe I shouldn't talk about failures, but hey, that's how we learn.
You can talk about failures.
So, we have the ability to I learned how to make an agent and share it with my team. Hey guys, check out this agent. You can use it because I build the instructions. I'm awesome. So then we actually took this up to another level, talked to IT. Hey, could we deploy this agent company wide? And we're doing that with other tools. We don't have one in Precon yet. We're getting close, but we actually had a note in there in our instructions to this AI agent that says deprioritize drawings, because we have this assumption that the VLMs and it can't really read the drawings very well. So we put that prompt in there and we deployed it to a few people and they tried it. And this thing was just kind of giving them really crap information. I mean, that was the fail. Like we said, deprioritize the drawings because we don't trust the VLMs it can't read drawings. We have this impression. Well, it's actually, now that we have a few models in there now, we're finally getting GPT and Opus in there. So it's getting smarter. So now that that was the fail, by the way. So we did that. And now that I removed that and said, don't prioritize drawings, we flipped it because that's where all the information is, right? And now, because that's what I did on my agents that I built. I'm like, man, the ones I built work so freaking good. Why is this one so bad? Oh, it was that direction that we said to deprioritize the drawings. So that's that. And then I want to pivot it a little bit too with Copilot. So I was on the pilot team to roll out Copilot, and I was like, guys, what are we doing? It felt like it wasn't that good, right? This was way back when ChatGPT was starting. We were kind of one of the first companies, I feel like, to start rolling out Copilot, which I felt cool. But then I tried in Excel and ask it for something. It wouldn't do anything. I'm like, what are we doing? But now but that was like 2 years ago, I feel like. But now every day I hear a story. Somebody came into my office yesterday and told me about how they use Copilot to help them. I'm hearing all these stories. We share stories company wide. Like, for example, I dropped in all our company codes into Edify. From Edify, I dropped them into Excel and said, hey, cross code all of these line items from the takeoff to all our company codes so I can import them back into Edify and boom, boom, done. Like, the stuff that's possible now with Copilot and Excel is it'll blow your mind with what it does.
Is that adoptable? Like, you've clearly got like a really high bar and a lot of taste around what can be rolled out to, like, your peers and your teams at Hensel Phelps and probably beyond. Do you think that you can roll out Copilot based workflows? And I don't know the answer. I'm trying to ask. I'm not trying to challenge it. I'm asking a very genuine question. I don't know the answer to. Like, do you think other people will learn how to open up Copilot, have it do things inside of a spreadsheet, have the taste for and the feel for when it's right, when it might be wrong, when it needs guidance, how to prompt it, that sort of thing?
Man, I think I'm seeing it work. Like, that's the cool part. Specifically the Excel thing, since we live in Excel in a lot of our worlds, to help tune it to what you need. Okay, just change that model to GPT 5.6 and then it'll really work for what you need to do. Like the fact that people are just picking it up, you hit the button on the bottom right. I mean, it's trainable. It's in Excel. People feel great. It highlights what it changed.
I did install Excel just so that I could use Copilot. Like it drove business to Microsoft from me. Like, yeah, it's a little scary to admit that.
But like back the counterpoint to what you just said is like emails. I'm like, I don't trust this thing to draft for me. I don't trust like other pieces of it. I'm like, and let me give you another example. Like we have our agents point to the drawings. We have a drawing specs, all that stuff Luigi does, right? And you ask it a question, give it some prompts, and you finally learn what it is. Like, okay, cool. I've had some crap answers too that I really lost faith in Copilot in that regards, but pretend it was good, right? You got a good answer, but then a couple weeks go by, you're like, crap, what was that? I forgot about that. Where is that chat? Oh, you got a million chats. You can't find it. You lose track of these things so quick. And Luigi, that's what I like about what you're doing is you're going to have like specific questions for each scope listed out for every project, and it'll just go mine those questions for you, and they're all there. Ask the same freaking questions at every job. Why is there not just a central spot for all this agent data mining for me? Like, let's go, people. Somebody make this for me.
Yeah, there's so much possibility, and I think it's just going to get way better. We're still kind of early innings in how these LLMs are being used on site, and I think there's going to be some really magical products. I was just telling the team here before, I really do think that the next unicorn in construction will be in pre-con. There's just so many pains.
So glad there's so many people coming to pre-con too.
I don't think Mike agrees, but
it was dead or robots somewhere.
Yeah, pre-construction robots. That's the reality that we don't want to face. Yeah, pre-construction.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just kidding. But robot.
Well, you got the like 6-axis robot and like a highlighter pen on printed drawings, like.
That's right. Yeah, that's where robots are deployed in office, just sitting next to Kyle.
2 of them using a slide rule.
The robots using ZZ takeoffs, no API, just via keyword. All right, let's cut it here, Kyle. This has been fantastic. Thanks so much for telling us about your opinions and how you're using AI and technology. I think the industry really loves reading your posts. I like reading your posts, but it's great to see someone care so much about pre-con. I care about pre-con a lot. So anyway, I appreciate you, and thanks so much for hopping on.
Yeah, appreciate you guys too for pushing us. We got to push each other. Like, don't say yes and don't stop.
Exactly. Yeah, always keep pushing. All right, we'll call it there. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, folks.
Woo.